Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of Arfcom News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Today, I want to kick it off with an update to that story we told you about before Christmas, where a New Mexico control freak group illegally transferred guns, improperly destroyed them, and, gave them to high school students. Turns out, they actually consulted with the feds before their little stunt, and they just totally ignored the ATF's warning to be sure to properly destroy the guns before any transfer. So any claim that they didn't know better ought to fall flat on its face. Oddly, they aren't claiming ignorance though. Rather, they insist they didn't actually break any laws, despite posting very public proof of their crimes. Yeah, that's a fully intact AK welded to a .22 rifle, which has only been cut in one location. Now, when we reported on this in the first place, some people were throwing shade at me because I was hoping these guys get charged with laws, which I am opposed to. So I want to point out that NMPGV were instrumental in passing the same universal background check law, which they violated. Now, to be clear, I hope they are not convicted. I hope they accept FPC's offer to defend them on 2A grounds, and I hope their legal defense destroys the law they fought so hard for. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion too, so if you think these authoritarian police state enthusiasts should be immune to the very laws they got passed, please comment below. I'd love to hear your opinions. But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Hydra. From the genius that created the Bushmaster firearm comes the Hydra Mark 15, the ultimate weapon platform. Modular, versatile, and mission-driven, the Hydra Mark 15 quick and easy caliber changes give you a whole lot of options without costing a whole lot of money. And by Primary Weapon Systems, PWS is now offering their advanced BDE suppressors in 4 caliber options: 7.62, 9mm, 22, and 5.56. These suppressors offer revolutionary sound control, all while remaining lightweight and tough. Easy to clean, easy to install, easy to maintain, these suppressors will make shooting even better than it was before. Oregon's Measure 114 was an all-you-can-eat buffet for control freaks. It required a government permission slip to buy any gun, complete with fingerprinting and police discretion in issuing permits. It would have banned standard capacity magazines. Perhaps most disturbing, it would have required training to get that permit to buy a gun, but you could only get the training from a police department. At the same time, it did not require any police department to actually conduct the training. 114 has been on a long losing streak in the courts, of course, but just a few days ago, a Harney County Circuit Court judge issued a final ruling and permanent injunction preventing enforcement of all provisions of the law because it grossly and obviously violates Oregon's state constitution.
Are we the baddies?
Judge Robert Raccio said in his ruling, Oregon citizens have a right to self-defense against an imminent threat of harm, which is unduly burdened by ballot measure 114. To be clear, this ruling is a state-level ruling which doesn't even lean on the Bruin precedent. Maj Toure's trial will take place this month, and notwithstanding rumors to the contrary, he is not accepting a plea deal. Maj is the founder of Black Guns Matter, which is a charity aimed at educating people about gun rights, safety, and self-defense law. Maj was arrested back in June for carrying a gun without the Crown's pleasure in Philadelphia, ironically, while he was participating in a gun rights podcast. He did not have a permit because he couldn't get one because over a decade ago, he pleaded guilty to selling counterfeit trademarked goods. Now, if you think it's reasonable to lock somebody up for a year because they sold some Folkleys or some knockoff Gucci purses instead of just issuing a civil fine, I guess that's your prerogative, but I think we can all agree it's definitely not a violent crime and should not result in the loss of your civil rights for life. Maj isn't asking for donations to a legal fund or anything like that, so if you want to help, please donate to the FPC, which is assisting in his defense, or, of course, donate to Black Guns Matter. So the deadline has come and gone, and only about 1% of Illinois gun owners has registered a Salty Boy. Of course, there's no way to know for sure how many of the 2.5 million registered gun owners in the land of Lincoln own magazines which hold more than 10 rounds, or a gun which has been declared naughty in the sight of Jabba the Prick. But I think it's fair to say it's a lot more than 1% of that 2.5 million people. And some of them are not keeping quiet about it either. Former state senator Darren Bailey publicly proclaimed he refuses to comply and dared Jabba the Prick to come and get his guns. As willing as the governor is to use state violence against peaceable folks, he's likely to be disappointed as the majority of sheriffs in his state have also proclaimed they are not willing to enforce the new law. Of course, none of that matters to Jabba. He recently doubled down on his desire to ban guns that can fire 100 bullets at a time.
But guns that shoot, 30, 50, 100, bullets at a time are guns that people don't need to have in their homes for protection or for sporting use.
That's not how it works.
So, Constitution, people's rights, and the fundamental laws of physics be damned, he's gonna take those salty boys from the good people of Illinois. Well, technically, he'll send men who can walk up a flight of stairs without taking a sandwich break to do it. Because apparently, he has got it in his head that's his ticket to the Oval Office. I don't know, party politics aside, I don't think anyone can say he's done a great job running his state, and only one president in history was fatter than him.
Gundustry News.
Vortex just dropped 2 new scopes in their budget-priced Venom line. The first is a 3 to 15 power with 44mm objective lens and 34mm tube. It features a first focal plane EBR-7C reticle in either mils or MOA as your tastes prefer, and the Vortex Rev Stop Zero system, which allows you to dial elevation as needed, then return instantly to zero. It even comes with a throw lever and sunshade. Price should be in the neighborhood of about $450. They also added a 1 to 6 LPVO with an illuminated AR-BDC-3 reticle in the second focal plane, which features range finding and bullet drop compensating elements. The tube diameter is 30mm, and it also comes with the throw lever and sunshade. Price for this one should be about $300. And now, for your moment of zen. Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Would you like to help us keep delivering you pure uncut American pew-paganda at the low price of free food? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.